Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready. Let's do it.
Awesome. So today we're taking a closer look at G8keep.
Interesting choice. A platform that's been making some waves lately.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when it comes to token launches, it feels like they're really trying to change the game.
Absolutely. They're all about making things safer and fairer for everyone.
Okay, so let's break it down. Their own description is a bit jargony. They say they're a multi-chain EVM platform. What does that even mean in plain English? For those of us who aren't, blockchain wizards.
Right, yeah, crypto can definitely have its own language. But basically, think of G8keep as like a one-stop shop for everything to do with new tokens, from launching them to trading them. But the big thing is, they've built in all these safety features. They call it G8 kept launches.
G8 kept. Catchy. I like it. But what exactly makes a launch G8 kept?
Good question. So imagine a typical token launch. It can be a bit of a free-for-all, right? Like whoever's got the most money and fastest internet connection scoops up everything.
Well, yeah, the whales just kind of dominate everything.
Exactly. And that leaves everyone else kind of out in the cold. So with G8 Keep, they've got this thing called the protection window.
Okay, a window of protection. Sounds intriguing. What's that all about?
So during this window, there are limits on how many tokens you can buy. It's called linear distribution without penalty. Basically, the amount you can safely buy increases gradually over time.
Oh, I see. So it prevents those big whales from just buying up the entire supply right away.
Right. It's like a slow and steady approach to a token launch to make things more balanced for everyone.
Makes sense. But what about those who do try to game the system? Try to buy a huge chunk right away?
Ah, well, they thought of that too. That's where the penalty tax comes in. If someone tries to buy way more than they should, especially during the early snipe period, right at the beginning.
Early snipe period, huh? Sounds kind of intense.
Yeah, it's like that moment right when the doors open and everyone's rushing in. But GA Keep wants to discourage that kind of behavior. So the system will actually take a cut of what they tried to buy, and then they redistribute it.
Oh, interesting. So they actually get penalized for trying to be greedy. I like that. But what happens to those tokens? Where do they go?
They go to this special smart contract called the G8 Keep penalty receiver.
Jelly receiver. So it's like a vault.
Exactly. It's holding on to those tokens, and the details about what they'll do with them are still a bit of a mystery. They've hinted at using them to foster the life of the token.
Interesting. So they're playing their cards close to their chest on that one. Okay, so let's say I'm one of those impatient types. I want to try to grab as many tokens as possible right at launch. What kind of penalty might I be looking at? Like a real-world example?
All right, so let's imagine a brand new token is launching. It has a total supply of, say, 100 million tokens, and you decide you want to snag 20 million right off the bat. During that protection window, especially the early snipe period, that could trigger a massive penalty.
Whoa, okay. Like how massive are we talking?
We're talking potentially losing almost all of your purchase. They have this snipe exponent that determines how harsh the penalty is. The higher the exponent, the more you lose.
Ouch. That's a pretty strong incentive to play by the rules. It's like they're saying, don't even try it.
Exactly. Patience is rewarded. Seems like they're all about encouraging people to participate fairly. No shortcuts.
I get it. Slow and steady wins the race with G8 Keep. So we've talked about the safety features, but what else makes G8 Keep stand out? Aside from that, I mean.
Oh, there's more. They're not just about launching tokens. It's a whole trading platform with some pretty unique features.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about that.
One thing that really stood out to me is their deployer vesting.
Deployer venting. Okay, you're going to have to break that one down for me.
Sure. So basically it means that when someone creates a new token on G8 Keep, they have to lock up a portion of their own tokens for 24 hours after the launch.
Ah, so it's like they're putting their money where their mouth is,
Yeah.
showing they actually believe in the project.
It builds trust.
Yeah.
Right. You know they're not going to just dump their tokens and disappear. They're in it for the long haul.
Smart move. Transparency is key in the crypto world. Speaking of which, what about fees? Any hidden costs lurking in the shadows?
Nope, G8 Keep is very upfront about fees. They have a 2% fee on the initial liquidity that's provided when a token is created, and then a 1% fee on all swaps.
Okay, so that's how they keep the platform running. Fair enough. But you mentioned trading. What's it like to actually swap tokens on G8 Keep?
Well, their swap widget is super user-friendly. Even if you're new to crypto, you can figure it out. And they've got some cool features built in.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
For example, they have real-time calculations that show you the maximum you can buy without getting hit with that penalty tax.
You don't have to do the math yourself.
Exactly. And there's even a button to just instantly buy that maximum amount, one click, and you're done.
Nice. Convenient. Anything else that makes the swapping experience stand out?
They've also got automatic slippage adjustments.
Slippage. Right, that can be a pain. The price you see isn't always the price you get.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because of market fluctuations.
Yeah.
But G8keep's widget calculates the optimal slippage for you in real time, so you don't have to worry about it.
They really seem to have thought of everything to make it a smooth experience. But, I was reading that you can only swap G8keep tokens on G8keep.
Right.
Why is that?
That's by design. See, by keeping the trading within their own ecosystem, they can make sure that all the transactions are subject to the same rules and safeguards. It's all about maintaining that fair, secure environment.
Ah, I see. It's like their own little protected bubble within the bigger crypto world. Kind of cool, actually. Earlier we were talking about the penalty tax and the G8keep penalty receiver.
Right, the vault.
Yeah. And you said those tokens don't just disappear, right? Like they're being held for a reason, for something that'll benefit the whole G8keep ecosystem. So, spill the beans. What's the plan?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. What are they going to do with all those tokens? It's like a treasure chest that's slowly filling up.
It really is. And I'm dying to know what they'll do with it. But, surely it's got to benefit the community somehow, right?
Absolutely. I mean, one possibility is they could use the tokens to fund further development, make the platform even better, even more user-friendly. Or they could beef up their security measures, make sure everyone's funds are super safe.
That makes sense. Reinvest it back into the platform. But what about something a little more creative?
Ooh, I like where your head's at. Okay, so what if they created some kind of reward system where users who hold G8keep's own native token, or maybe participate in governance decisions, earn a share of those penalty tokens?
Ooh, I like that. It encourages people to actively participate.
Right. It turns those penalties into a positive thing. It strengthens the community.
Love it. Any other out-of-the-box ideas?
Well, they could even use those tokens to support new projects that are launching on G8keep.
Like a grant program.
Exactly. Or an incubator to help promising projects get off the ground. It would make G8keep like a hub for innovation.
Wow, that's a game changer. The success of those projects would then feed back into the G8keep ecosystem.
Exactly. It's all connected. What I find really interesting about G8keep is this focus on community. It's not just about the tech. It's about the people using it.
Totally. It feels like they're building something more than just a platform. It's like a movement.
Right. And I think that's really smart because ultimately the success of any platform depends on the community.
So true. But what else could they do, to further cultivate that sense of community?
That's a good question. Well, they could host online forums or AMAs,
Mhm.
so users can connect with each other and with the G8keep team. Or, even better, real-world events.
Like a G8keep conference.
Yes. Everyone gets together, shares ideas, collaborates. They could even integrate a social element directly into the platform.
Ooh, like a built-in chat feature. I like that.
Right. Make it more interactive, more engaging. We've talked a lot about the features and the community, but what about their long-term vision? Where do they see themselves fitting into the crypto landscape, 5, 10 years down the road?
That's a tough one. Crypto moves so fast. But, G8keep seems to be tapping into some key trends, right? Accessibility, transparency, user empowerment, all that good stuff.
Definitely. Those are the values that are resonating with people. People who are looking for a more, ethical way to engage with crypto.
But what could that actually look like in practice,
Well, imagine if G8keep expanded beyond just token launches and trading.
Okay, I'm listening.
They could become like a one-stop shop for everything crypto, DeFi applications, NFT marketplaces, maybe even educational resources for newcomers.
Wow, they could really make crypto a lot less intimidating for the average person.
Exactly. It would make it more accessible to everyone. And they could do it all within a secure, transparent environment. But we got to remember, the crypto world's constantly changing. It's evolving.
Always something new popping up.
So it'll be interesting to see how G8keep adapts and innovates. They've got a great foundation, but who knows what the future holds?
The journey's just beginning for G8keep. It's exciting to think about where they'll go from here. Yeah, it's crazy to think how much we've covered today.
It really is. We've gone from the basics of G8keep all the way to, like, imagining their future, and it's pretty exciting.
It is. From those safety features like the protection window to the trading aspects and even that mysterious penalty receiver, it's clear they're trying to do something different in the crypto world.
Absolutely. Building a platform, but also, like you said, a community.
Mhm.
People who believe in a more transparent way of doing things.
And that brings us to a question for our listeners.
Oh, I love a good question. Lay it on me.
So, we talked about some ways G8keep could use those penalty tokens, but what do you think? What would be the most impactful way to use them, like to really further their mission?
Yeah. What could they do with that treasure chest of tokens that would really make a difference? It's a good question for everyone to consider.
I mean, grants for new projects would be cool, or maybe a reward system for active users, or I don't know, maybe something completely different.
Yeah. There's so many possibilities.
We'd love to hear your thoughts, actually. Connect with us on social media, leave a comment. Let's keep this conversation going.
Definitely. We always love hearing from our listeners, always learning new things.
Because that's what it's all about, right? Learning, exploring, and diving deep into these fascinating topics.
Absolutely. And, this deep dive was just the beginning. There's so much more to discover about G8 Keep. So do your own research, see what you think.
Yeah, see how it fits into your own crypto journey. The possibilities are endless. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Catch you on the next deep dive.